Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Caregiver and Spoonie podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's get into today's episode. Today should be a good one. Now, on today's episode, I have a very important question. This is a question that I had to ask myself at one point during my therapy and pretty much everything that I've been able to change throughout the course of my life. I had to ask this question, which is, are you the CEO of your life? Now, this is a question that you have to answer very honestly. It has to be obvious, like yes or no question. There's no other type of answer. Not maybe, not no. It's a yes or no question, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, but before we get into that, I want to say this, that the reason why I asked myself that question at one point in my life after I was diagnosed with PTSD and everything that I've gone through with the abuse and everything, which is something that I have talked before, I see it from a perspective that we should take care of our lives just like a good CEO takes care of a good company. Those kind of companies where somebody tells you, like, I work for this company and the CEO is so nice, he brings us lunch, he works with us, he understands us, he gives us bonuses, he raises our compensation every time when the company does good. There's good companies like that. And that's pretty much what you have to do with your life. You have to become the CEO of your life. And this is why it's important. Because if you're not the CEO of your life, then that means that you're not taking the final decision. You're not making the decisions for yourself. Somebody else is. And then at that point, you have to ask yourself the question, like, who's making the final decision for me? Like, who's like saying, like, oh, don't take this treatment. And this is, like I said, a podcast for anybody. So if you're suffering from mental health illness or physical illness, pretty much you're a spoonie. No matter what you're going through, if it's bringing you stress or anything like that, you're a spoonie. So this is for everybody. So who's causing you or helping you in getting worse, pretty much, in making the wrong decisions towards your treatments? Because I've seen it. Like, I've seen it with my wife, I've seen it with myself, I've seen it with other spoonies where they just want to know if they're doing the right thing, because as a spoonie, you don't really know what's going on. You don't have a lot of information, so you leave it up to the doctor. Sometimes, like in Mexico, in my case, growing up and seeing this with my mom, whenever she was feeling sick or I was feeling sick, she will ask a friend. Literally, she will ask a friend, and then that friend will tell her, like, oh, do this, do that, and then she will do it, and it wouldn't work. But that's pretty much the way that probably she was raised. Like, oh, you ask a friend first before you go to the doctor, and that's not the right thing to do, depending on your condition, obviously. But I don't think that's the right thing to do. So somebody else was making the decision. Now, who's making the decision for you? In my wife's case, the same thing happened. Somebody else was making the decision and telling her what to do. The doctors were making those decisions, and then I came into the picture and I was like, no, let's see what's best for my wife. So I kind of like took the reins, and now I'm giving her the reins back, because obviously it's her life. If she wants to have a treatment, it's okay to have that treatment. And same thing happens with me. If I want to have a treatment, it's up to me. And the best example that I have here for you is that my teeth, they're not straight, as anybody can see, and I don't care, but my teeth have been hurting for a while, and I don't really want braces. Everybody has said, like, oh, you need to have braces, but I don't really want them. And everybody tried to make the decision for me, like, oh, you need to have braces, you need to get your wisdom teeth taken out, and I'm like, no. But now, because my teeth are getting worse, obviously I do need braces, but I'm making that decision. Like, I had to come up with the decision. I didn't let the pressure of anybody else say, like, oh, you know what, like, this person is right. It's like, no, I can tell now that they were right. They were giving me the right information, but I'm gonna make the final decision, which in this case is I do need braces, and I'm gonna get them at one point. But what I'm trying to say with this is like you have to make the final decision of your treatment or what you need. And obviously, this is only if you're like if you're a kid, obviously you can't really do that. But if you're an adult where you can make your own decisions, then yes, this is for you. And another reason why this is important is because once you decide to take control of your life, once you say like, okay, I'm the CEO of my life, I'm gonna take control of whatever's going on, I'm gonna have the last say in my treatment, in what the doctor says. If I wanna agree with the doctor, I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna speak up. And the reason why this is important is because it pushes you to take action. Kind of like to do an audit of your life and define your vision of what you actually want. So pretty much what that does is that you're gonna say like, okay, has this worked for me? No. Okay, how can I change it? Okay, I need to change this. Like, I need to change doctor. I need to stop talking to this person because this person contributes to my anxiety and depression. So, and that's fine. So you're gonna audit it. You're gonna audit your life, almost like a company. The big company is gonna get audited probably by the IRS, so they have to do internal audits, which I have seen in a lot of companies that I have worked with. But when you do it to your life, it's completely different because you have to pretty much see what kind of changes you want to see. Like, for example, you want to see changes on your health. You have to audit your life as to, okay, what am I doing wrong? Am I eating healthy? No. Okay, I need to eat healthy. I'm talking about myself in this situation. Like, I haven't been able to eat healthy due to stress. I love candy. I've been able to eat healthy in other things, but I can't drop candy yet. And I'm trying. So every time I audit my life, I'm like, candy needs to go. So I've been cutting down the candy. And every time I do that, I define myself. I define my vision. It's like, okay, I want to get healthier. I need to work out more. I need to get I want to get in great physical shape. So I need to do all of this. So that's how I'm defining my vision, and that's how you should do it too. Like, if you're a spoonie and you have, let's say, fibromyalgia, like my wife, you might say like, okay, I want to be able to do more things and be in less pain. That's great. That's something that can be achievable, but you have to make certain changes. You have to audit yourself and take action and see what's not working. Is it the medicine? Is it something you're eating? Is it something that you're doing wrong? Is it the doctor that's not doing anything right? It happens. I mean, not every doctor is going to be perfect. And I don't mean to insult doctors, but sorry, dude. And sorry, doctors. You're not always perfect. You don't know always everything. Believe me. I have talked to doctors that don't know anything about my wife's conditions, and they're her doctors. So we had to change them, like that was taking action. And we're like, you know what? This doctor doesn't work. Move on. And that's pretty much what we have to do. Now, in the end, once you make your audit of your life and define your vision as to exactly what you want, that's actually very important, because in the end, you're going to make the final decision. That's going to help you make the final decision to say, like, you know what? This is not working. I'm going to change it. I'm going to remove this person from my life. I'm going to change doctors. I'm going to, go see a different specialist. I'm going to research more about this. Oh, I heard about, and again, I don't want to get into too much information, but I have said this before, like how certain diets help with chronic pain, like the keto diet helps with pain and things like that. So if you're in pain and you're like, you know what, I haven't tried anything, let me go ahead and try the keto diet for like 30 days. And in the middle of the program that you're doing or the diet, you start feeling better. So you're going to notice and you're going to be like, you know what, this was a good idea. Maybe I'm going to stick with it. that's making the final decision. That's actually something that's going to help you. And and another thing is that since you're the CEO of your life, you're going to be able to fire people out of your life, and be very careful with that, because when you fire people, when you cut people off your life, you have to make sure that you're cutting the right people off, or the wrong people off of your life. You don't want to cut the right people, the people that are helping you, because sometimes that might happen by accident. Like you get too into your role of CEO of your life. You're like, you know what, you're not helping, bye. But you have to also put the pros and cons in regards to whoever you're cutting off. Like, okay, is this person contributing to my well-being and helping me, and it's actually it shows that they care? Yes, okay, maybe we can keep them and see how else they can help us, and we can help each other. But if this person is actually contributing to your anxiety, to your depression, or draining you physically and mentally and emotionally, then you shouldn't have that person in your life. Because in the end, you have to have all your energy. You have to be emotionally. No, you have to prevent people from emotionally draining you, because you need that emotional strength to be able to make the right decisions for yourself. And same thing, if the person is causing you anxiety, it's like, why would you want somebody that's causing you anxiety? Because they use you as a soundboard, but when you want to talk to them kind of like the way that they talk to you, they don't want to. It's like, so you have to see the pros and cons. This is literally like running a very good company. Like, you have to be extremely careful of what decisions you need to make, extremely careful of what you tell people, extremely careful of what you share with people. You have to have your, like, almost like a board of directors, pretty much. Let's just say like a board of directors, like your closest friends, your closest family members, where you can talk, and you can literally be like extreme open-minded, where you can take their feedback without getting offended. So don't take the feedback from just anybody. Take the feedback from your closest friends, your closest family members, the people that have been there for you. That's pretty much what I was trying to say, because when you do that, those people might be able to give you like the best advice, because they've been with you, by your side. They have seen what you're going through. So if you're going through chronic illness, mental health issues, or something like that, they might tell you, like, you know what, this is what I'm seeing, why don't you try to go see this doctor? And then obviously you need to still make the final decision if you want to go see this doctor. But if you do take that decision and that actually works, then great. But that's all because you were able to listen to your friends, to your board of directors that were telling you, like, hey, you're not running your company, which in this case is your body, the way that it should be, that it should be guided, or it should be run. So that's pretty important, and that's why I wanted to make this episode, because I was talking about it the other day with my wife, and I was like, gosh, like, this is important. A lot of people don't see it that way. When I started seeing it that way, like, my life has changed a lot when I started making the decisions. Like, a lot of people, like, another example in my case, a lot of people don't like tattoos in my family. I have this tattoo right here. If you're looking at the video on YouTube or Facebook, it's a tattoo of a skull that has my grandparents' names and my wife's name, and the date that we got married. Well, a lot of people in my family, they think that tattoos are for criminals and things like that, which is not the case. And they have always said, like, oh, you shouldn't get a tattoo, you shouldn't get a tattoo, you shouldn't get a tattoo. So I was letting them take that decision. But then I met my wife, and I was talking about it with her, about the tattoos and everything, and she said, just get a tattoo, like, it's nothing bad. So she gave me different information, which I took into consideration, and then I got my tattoo. And I love my tattoo. So it's pretty much the same thing with anybody's life. Like, watch, be careful as to the information that you take from people, and then make the right decision for you, not to impress them. That's another thing. Be very, very careful about that. Don't try to fall into that I need to impress trap. Like, don't do it. Take the final decision for yourself, not to say, like, you know what, I'm doing this for you. Don't do it for them. Do it for you. Okay, that's extremely important. And once you start doing that, you will see that by you taking the final decision of your life, not the final decision of your life, but like the final decision on what you want to have done in your life, or how you want your life to be, is going to help you understand a lot of things about yourself. It's gonna show you how strong you are, because once you decide to do that and don't quit, then you show resiliency. Especially when you're a spoonie, you will need that. Okay, but that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for your support, your feedback. I like to hear from you. I like your emails, your comments. I love you have messaged me directly, which I really, really like as well. And thank you for that. So I really, really appreciate it. The community is growing, the page is growing, the podcast is growing. This is all thanks to you, and I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm extremely grateful for the new supporters, the new listeners, for you guys. Thank you for that. So don't forget to share, like, subscribe, so we can make the podcast grow, the community grow. And also, if you want to share your story, don't forget to send it to me at thecaregiverandspoony@gmail.com. You can do it anonymously. And also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And what you just heard, if you heard that was my dog. For some reason he was like doing something, but that was my dog, and I'm gonna leave it on the podcast. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you, and I leave you like always. As always, take care of yourself and have a good day.